I don't even know how to describe what this is. It's an ex-president of the United States. Ex-president of the United States. And God, yeah, I have got no words for this except just watch this. Watch this. This is a president, a leader of a country. Some would say the greatest country that the earth has ever known, apart from the British Empire. Um, and we have not gone yet, you know. We will rise again. No, I'm sorry, right? I shouldn't be saying that. Not in context of America. Okay, so here's yeah, Donald Trump. Just let him. His own words speak for the competency of this man to hold any office where he's got power over any other individual in the world. I mean, this is just insane.
He said, Macron, nice guy. You know, look, he's for France. I'm for us. I'm for us. You know how you spell us, right? You spell us, U.S. I just picked that up. Has anyone ever thought of that? I just picked that up. A couple of days I'm reading and it said us. And I said, you know, if you think about it, us equals U.S. Isn't that? Now, if we say something genius, they'll never say it. You know, we get 25, 30, 40, 50, 80,000, 100,000 people to speeches. They've never said Trump's a great speaker. Never said. I've never heard it. I said to my people, do you think they'll ever acknowledge I must be doing okay? Except I'm a very handsome person, so I guess a lot of you want to sit.
Excuse me, guys. Back in a second. Go down first. But yeah, did you hear what he said there? I was reading the other day. It's like, when did he start reading? Because as far as I can think, I'm just imagining myself growing up in America. Imagine by the age of 4 or 5, I would have come to the conclusion that us in the US was pretty much, yeah, spelt the same. I mean, I really don't know what he was trying to claim there, that he discovered us in the US is the same. Or maybe he just discovered it now. I think that's what he was saying. In which case, yes, what a lot of people are saying about him having Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or some debilitating brain malfunction. Yeah, I think every 4 or 5-year-old kid in America at one time probably thought, you know, oh, us in the US, it's the same. Yeah. And then forgot about it. For a fucking adult human being in America to turn around and say that they just discovered it is fucking humiliating. Did he just learn how to read and write? I mean, the guy is 77, is it, years old? And he just noticed the other day while he was reading that us in the US are spelt the same. I'm sorry, but I mean, there is not very much you can say, right? There's not very much you can say about this that's good in any light. I mean, there's just not, right? So he's just noticed that 77 that us and US is spelt the same and thought it important enough to bring up at a public political rally, speaking to his troops, to let them know how smart he is and how genius he is to see this where nobody else has ever seen it or talked about it. Oh. How insane is this? He's an adult who thinks other adults haven't talked about us and the US being spelt the same and being similar in letters. He thinks because they've just never thought about it before. Not that they thought about it when they were 4 or 5 year old, and as they got older, it didn't seem to be that much of importance to remember or talk about or mention that they knew about it. I mean, people don't write these sort of things in books, do they? Today, I understood for the first time that us and US is spelt the same. Mind-blowing discovery. No, nobody's ever read that in any journal anywhere in the last 250 years. By the way, Donald, us existed before US was a thing. The United States didn't exist when people were using the word us. So it's not surprising to find later on down the road in years that people have similar sounding letters in the same language. The guy is fucking mental, man. I thought it was funny that America sort of like elected a really rich, obviously sociopathic, I can't name the other one, where he loves himself, you know what I mean? But, all the signs were there for it, I didn't realise that he was actually insane. And he thought that once he became president that what he said went. He was immune to all prosecution and he could just dictate what was going to happen around the world because America's the greatest country in the world, and when you read all the history books, the greatest country in the world always tells all the other countries what to do. And that's what he thought. He walked around thinking he could just bully people and tell what to do. I'm the biggest country, you don't know what I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, And he was just fucking insane. For 4 fucking years, the world looked at this insane fucking person, hoping that somewhere in the depths of the American system there was a fucking kill switch that they had pulled to make sure that this crazy president couldn't push a button and fucking launch a world war because he was that fucking stupid. The shit he's told other nations about your fucking security and secrets. Oh my god. If that had been a college student, like the guy who ran away because he took, some files about what the government was doing illegally to capture data in America. I mean, a whistleblower, right? Donald Trump is no fucking whistleblower. God damn, he's done more damage to America, not just America, but Ukraine, Israel, France, Britain. Almost every European nation he's fucking damaged with the information he's probably leaked to China, Iran, fucking Russia. Yeah, I mean, what the fuck? Him and his family were selling shit off like a fucking fire sale, mate. American fucking secrets. Sold them off like a fucking fire sale, the cunts. The strangest thing I find is how many Americans not only like Donald Trump and they thought he was just a narcissist, a psychopathic, sociopathic narcissist. Even when they found out he was that, or thought he was that, they supported him. But now, when they can see how much he actually destroyed their loved Constitution, he totally obliterated the Constitution. He didn't just step over lines, he went with a tractor and dug those lines up and obliterated the lines. They no longer exist for any person in politics in the future now in America. There has been a huge fucking precedent set in American politics through Donald Trump. It had been building to a Donald Trump for, I would think, 30, 40 years in America anyway. So I'm not surprised, really, that this eventually was this sort of outcome for the intense way that the far right wing, especially the Christian right wing, has been burrowing and eating its way like termites into a lump of nice, fresh, tasty wood, and just hollowing it out from the inside. America is going to have a serious look at its judicial system, and the way that people are elected to become judges, especially Supreme Court judges who are lifetime appointed. I think they need to have more than just a few questions and answers and then people voting past the guy they want. There needs to be some kind of deep inquiry as if they were becoming president or vice president to find out all the fucking deep dark secrets in their past. And they should be exposed to the people who select them, so they're not selected when they have these serious flaws in their nature, like the penchant for accepting gifts and not reporting them. Shit like that. These should be things that people should know about when they're voting for, your representatives and stuff. But of course, it probably wouldn't matter in the present sort of, I don't know what you call it. Is it weather? Is it climate? Could be the present political climate, but I think it's just a bit of weather, like the Conservatives keep saying, oh, there's no climate change, it's just weather. There is climate change, and people mistake it for weather. And there's weather people mistake for climate change. I think the Republican Party is weather at the moment. I don't think there's any serious climate change going on in the Republican Party. I mean, it's a small minority, probably 8 to 24 people, probably 8 out there, and a few other, 16 more or whatever, who basically, they're sort of like same-minded with the old radicals, but they know that it's going to be difficult to get re-elected if they stand out and say who they are, That's why you got all these whistleblowing techniques to fucking get money and all that. And then you claim, well, it was the RNC that did it, not my local campaign. It's all that, it's deniability. Even in fucking campaign funding, there's all this deniability and trying to obfuscate what votes they actually made for certain bills and certain, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's go back to...
They want to sit and look at me because I'm so, like a beauty pageant.
Like a beauty pageant. He loves himself so much. He loves adoration. He loves to hear people cheering on it. But he doesn't fucking do anything to deserve it, that prick. You know what I mean? I mean, not only was Donald Trump bad for America in his 4 years, and the fucking last 3 years he's been or the last 7 years Donald Trump has been bad for America, but he's been bad for the fucking world. Fucking bad for the world, the prick. Because he wasn't thinking about anybody else, he was thinking about just himself. For the start of COVID, that was going to interfere with all the plans he had. He was setting up all the manoeuvrings he was going to do to meet people. And if he was to fucking try to shut things down and stop people coming out, all these fucking plans he was making with meeting with the Arabs, it was all going to blow up in his face. And it fucking ended up blowing up in his face anyway. He only got half it done. They had to send Jared over there for fucking months to finalise some stupid fucking deal. And you know what? Donald Trump got fisted, punched in the face and fisted in the ass. And Jared took the $2 billion. Donald get nothing out of that, you'd think. No. The Arabs bailed him out with fucking hundreds of millions, mate, during these fucking presidency. God damn it, he made hundreds of millions of them through his fucking hotels and shit. And people sort of say, oh, yeah. We'll see.
No, it's amazing.
Wow. Very, very good job, Donald. You guys laugh, but he was also the first one to figure out where his cubby was, and he's making excellent progress in addition and subtraction. So don't listen to the haters, Donald. We are all extremely proud of you and your words. Tell you what, there was a time when the Republican Party was hell-bent on making English the national language in this country. And then, at some point around the time it's evolved into a cult of personality for Donald Trump, they stopped making those demands, likely because their God King has about as good a grasp on the language as your average class of third graders. And I mean that with no disrespect to your average class of third graders. Here's another gem from today.
Stumbling, mumbling, didn't know where the hell he was. And then CNN, I watched CNN to see, I like to see what they do. They said that was one of the greatest speeches since FDR. You know, FDR was a great speaker, right? He was a great speaker. He sat because of a situation, but he was an elegant, beautiful, eloquent, elegant and eloquent. And he was a great speaker, and they show him speaking, and rah, rah, America will be great. We were attacked today. You have to understand, now they showed this guy who can't put together two sentences. And they say, that's one of the finest State of the Union addresses since FDR. And it just drives you wild.
Yeah, I think it was less a quote-unquote situation that caused FDR to sit, and more just the polio.
Yeah.
And I've heard FDR be called a lot of things, but elegant
A disease
isn't
we
one
wait
of them.
to.
So either
Way
Trump
back
uses the same word
with
that
a
I would
fucking
use to describe
injection,
Princess
you know what I mean?
Diana
An
to describe
operation.
FDR,
Which is now
or,
fucking
yet again,
resurgent
words
in
fall out of his
America.
face that
People
don't
are
actually
getting
mean
operated.
anything because he is a moron.
Stupid fucks.
Take all the time you need with that one. But I hope you didn't think it would end there.
You know, I was very honored as a man. Viktor Orban, anyone ever hear of him? He's probably like one of the strongest leaders anywhere in the world. And he's the leader of, right? He's the leader of Turkey. Fronts on both Russia.
Ah, yes, Viktor Orban, the leader of Turkey, which in actuality is Erdogan, while Orban is the Prime Minister of Hungary. All of this while on the campaign trail.
This is the problem with Trump, man. If you're going to mention a world leader in a speech, even if you're going to maybe do it off the cuff, it always takes some time to fucking learn their names and how to pronounce them and which one is in control of which country and who's in conflict with other nations and who's not. I mean, this is a basic principle if you're going to be the leader of a country, that we fucking know what the hell is going on in the world vis-a-vis, you know, relationships between countries and, you know, trading groups and stuff like that. I mean, these are very, very important for leaders of countries today. More so than you know, the everyday run of the country. That's why you normally have it left to councils or, you know, area managers or, you know, governors. You know what I mean? You delegate that responsibility to people in your country. America doesn't seem to have a very good way of controlling that downward delegation. You seem to have delegated so much to the states that they actually compete with the actual country's government, the federal government. I don't understand that, because there is no way in Britain that any council, and that would be like a state, and, you know, any county or council, you know, that would be like a state, you know, challenge the government in Britain. No, there's no laws to allow it. You run what's inside your borders, but the government tells you what you can do, you know what I mean? In order to keep everything the same. Otherwise you'd have, like you're going to America. Fucking different taxes and different fucking rules and laws about this, that and the other. No, we have national laws that cover everybody in every fucking inch of the land, because we all live in the same country. Everybody should live under the same fucking law. The same law. Now you changing it because you feel different because you're 100 miles away and you live in a mountain rather than a fucking plain. No, it didn't fucking matter. If I drive through your town, I want to know it's okay for me to fucking park my car You know what I mean? And fucking go buy some fucking water without checking my gun in. Or went in the shelf, know that I'm in town. If I've not got a gun, which I probably wouldn't have anyway, I don't want to fucking hassle. I want to know that there are rules and laws there the same as my fucking town. And I can behave the same way. We can't have you changing fucking rules and laws and springing shit on people, you know? God damn Americans. Stupid fucks.
Trail to be the next president of the United States. But hey, how can you really expect him to remember the names of the most famous people in the international community? And those were just today. That is to say nothing of the raft of verbal diarrhea that he's been spewing over the last few weeks, completely neutralizing the central premise of his campaign that it's Joe Biden who's in cognitive decline, while he is A-OK. Watch just a small sampling of what Donald Trump said, and then tell me which presidential candidate's brain seems to be broken.
Okay. I'll just quick get this fish, man. Donald Trump and his pronunciations, right? He was president of America, man. If he got into that office and he had lacked some skills, right? His pronunciation of foreign countries. Surely you'll get people in your staff who you can say, right, so how do I pronounce this? When I meet the leader of this country, how do I make sure that these words that I'm going to have to say in his language, that I'm pronouncing them correctly, you know what I mean? They find somebody, you know, they bring them in, somebody for that country who still remembers how to pronounce the language, and you get them to talk to him, you know, he meets the president. It's a day's life. He's becoming an American citizen, and now the president wants to find out about his life. These are what make fucking great fucking people great. They do shit like that. Donald Trump, no. Just goes out there, I'll just say it the way the fucking letters are written on the page. He didn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about America, how it looks to have a president that goes around not caring about fucking dignitaries' names, him to pronounce fucking shit. Protocol. There's the cameras, I want to be on this side of it. All that, you know, he just moves about, he just goes where he wants, he doesn't pay any attention to the protocol that's been laid down for hundreds of fucking years. Hundreds of years before his country was, America was even a figment of somebody's imagination. When they were still happy to be Brits, you know, I mean, my God. I mean, it beggars belief that somebody could be so powerful in such a position of power and be so fucking ignorant and stupid at the same time. You cannot be ignorant because you don't know a thing. But in the position of president, you can learn very quickly. You can get the best people in there to fucking teach you and show you what. You can fucking learn what you want on the job and become the best fucking president anybody's ever fucking seen. Or you can sit back and think you already know everything else. You've read it all. I've been in politics like Joe Biden. Not saying Joe Biden's doing a bad job. He could do a better job, but fucking learn some shit. But he's old now. I get that. It's harder to learn. But he's trying. I can see Joe Biden trying. Donald Trump's trying to get back in so he doesn't go to jail and make some more millions. And he doesn't care. He knows he's going to die. Or maybe he doesn't. Maybe he thinks he's going to live forever. Maybe he's not even come to the conclusion that, you know, we are all fucking mortal. He's such an ignoramus, man, you know. I feel sorry for ignorance. I don't like ignorance, but I feel sorry for the ignorant. Because a lot of the time it's not their fault they're ignorant. A lot of the time the information has just been harder to get than what you would normally find for information. And the Republicans tend to try and do that in every state that they control. Make information hard for the populace to come across, so as not to enable them to start thinking and connecting things and thinking for themselves, even over time. They bury all the information so deep that it's useless to try and find it. But still, there's no excuse for ignorance. If you see something's wrong and not working right, the fact that you don't know why it's not working right should basically instill you with a fervour to find out what the fuck is going on. And although the information is hard to get, you can fucking get it. And if you spent your life saying, well, I'm just going to agree with the pastor and my Republican fucking, representative and, just agree with them and vote for them, well, you're a fucking idiot. And that kind of ignorance is self-imposed. You should at least try and fucking clear your ignorance when you understand that something's going on. Don't just believe other people. Find the if you were having an affair with somebody, you would fucking find the time for that. But it's not going to destroy your farm or your fucking livelihood unless you get caught. And it's a bad situation. But politics, who you vote for, that can definitely destroy your fucking life and your livelihood, your whole family, your whole community. They'll be gone in a fucking second if you vote for the wrong person. And a lot of communities I think have seen this, so why do you keep voting for these fucktards? I just don't know, man. I just don't know.
But I know you
But
never
you
paid,
have to
under
go
your
through
administration, you guys
Iran.
never paid
It's all
ransom.
coming through, Brian, it's all coming through Iran, and Obama he doesn't want to talk about it. He doesn't want to he doesn't even mention them in his statements. It's all coming through Iran.
Well, you mean President Biden. So,
Obama, the man is, I don't know, is he on dope or something? He forgot what year it is and who he's running against. Is this him? So he doesn't drink. Guess he doesn't take drugs either. But what is it going on with Obama? Obama's done this and done that. Does he not know it's 2023? Is he back in fucking 2016 or some fucking thing? This guy, man, I don't know. People elected him president. I've seen more qualified fucking donuts, man. Get the big trays of donuts at Costco. They're more qualified to be president than fucking Donald Trump, man. Thing is, a lot of Americans knew that when they came down the golden stairs, and yet he still became president. I've got no idea how that happened. People say there was fraud in fucking Joe Biden election. Oh, how the fuck did Trump become president? That needs to be investigated, and it will be, I tell you, for the next 50 years. There's going to be people writing books about how Trump became president. And there's going to be more and more documents and emails and texts and Discord messages and payments and Vento, I don't know what it is anyway. But yeah, all that stuff I got, oh my god. I don't even know if I'm going to live long enough to see the actual end of this. I'm 62. This could go on for 30, 40 years, mate. I don't think I'm going to see 40 years. 15, 20, maybe, if I stop drinking. I'm not going to do that. Another 10. So I've got 10 years. Do you think enough books will come out in 10 years for me to find out about how Donald Trump became president? Is anybody going to live long enough to find out how Donald Trump became president? Oh, it's a wonder to behold, isn't it?
but right
No,
now,
I also mean Obama.
what do you mean?
I mean Obama and Biden, but Obama is Biden's boss, in case you didn't really know that.
As you know, crooked Joe Biden and the radical left thugs.
I love how we covered up for saying Obama and Biden. Oh yeah, I meant Biden, but no, Obama's his boss. Well, he was, no, in 2016 when Joe was vice president to President Obama, but not in 2023. I mean, what the fuck? This guy, look at the face as well. He's staring off into distance, and his wee brain is processing. I don't know where I'm going with this. Can I find a word that I can latch onto and make something that what excites the crowd? Oh yeah, hating people. Who can I hate? You know that. You know, and that's what's going on while he's going. You know.
Who have weaponized law enforcement to arrest their leading political
Yeah,
opponent.
see,
and
Sonny,
lead by a
weapon,
lot,
weapon,
including
yeah,
Obama. I'll tell you what. You take a look at
Tell you what.
Obama and take a
And
look
I
at
didn't
some of
tell
the
you.
things that he's done. This is the same thing. The country.
You see, when this is what I hate about Trump, and I don't understand why Republicans like him for this, because this is exactly why they like him. Right?
To look at Obama and take a look at some of the things that he's done. This is the same thing. The country was very divided. And we did with Obama. We won an election that everyone said couldn't be won. We beat Hillary Clinton. Now, you know, I used to...
You see what I'm saying? It's like, you've got to tell you something, and then he just wanders off saying inane things like, you know, great, big, one, Obama, what's her name, Clinton. You know what I mean? It's like just keywords, connect them together, but there's no connection. He just puts them in a sentence, and you know they all. It's, you know what I mean? It's like a fucking lion feeder throwing raw meat to fucking lions, and you throw them, they go, "Arr," you know, and you just throwing raw meat at them, you know, little pieces of raw meat at a time, but there's no real meal there, you know. There's no information whatsoever about what he's going to do, what the other guy did wrong, what he would do right. I mean, this is what policy discussions normally in Britain, what you'll see is, if a politician in Britain gets the opportunity to stand up like this in front of a crowd and speak, they're going to talk about policy. They're going to talk about how this policy is going to change, you know, your life. If you're a certain sector of worker, you're going to pay extra on this or that or the other, or they're going to, you know, cut your hours by this or that, the other. All that. No, they come in and they have policy fucking, you know, arguments about how it affects workers on one side and how it affects business on the other, and how it affects the country, and what should happen, how they can come, how they can't come together, who's stirring up this and who's stirring, you know, it's all that, but it's all done in discussion, and people don't start saying people should be treated as traitors and murdered for it. Hello? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, okay, off, yeah. Yeah, no, that's fine, yeah. Alright. Okay, well, let me know if you're okay, yeah. Right, bye. Just my sister let me know she's not coming all day. Anyway, yeah, this guy, man, he just...
I used to call her Crooked Hillary. And then they took a...
Yeah, I mean, you never get any real sentence where he says, oh, this guy, that was what he did, and tells you what he did. He just says the things he did are bad. So he says everything that he knows is bad, you know. And I'm going to be the guy who does the great things, the brilliant things, the genius, brilliant. I'm going to win everything. You're going to be so sick of it. You know what I mean? But there's the, what is it you're going to do that's going to do this for us? Oh, I'm going to have the best people. We're going to have the best this, the best that, the greatest. We're going to. Oh, love me. Look at me, I'm handsome. Oh, I'm more handsome than Joe. I mean, what the hell is all that shit that he goes through? You know what I mean? Why would how he looks matter? You know? It could be a little dumpy cunt with a fucking bow tie and bow legs and a fucking hook for a hand. And if he was able to run the country better than anybody else and make every cunt fucking rich, nobody would care what he fucking looked like, you know? Donald Trump and he's, oh, people love me. People are always telling me how good I am. What the fuck? If your enemies are telling you you're good, they're buttering you up. And if you don't understand that as a fucking president of a country, that people who are your enemies telling you good things about you because they think that it's going to make you like them, which it did with Donald Trump. Foreign nations got deals with Trump because they buttered him up and said how much they love him and how much his policies and how he was running America was great, you know. As if any president should care what a foreign national thinks about how he's running America. The people that he should have been caring about is American people, who he didn't, if you remember. He didn't really care about what the American people said. There were plenty of things that when polled were 50, 60, 70, 80% liked by Americans, and none of them ever came up talked about by Donald Trump. None of them. None of them. He's a total prick. And I don't know how Andy can even think about fucking voting for him again. I mean, as I say, I don't think Americans are stupider than any other nation. I really don't think so. I mean, education and intelligence are two different things. You can be smart and uneducated. You work things out for yourself. You've never been shown how to solve a problem in a fucking college, but you've done it on your farm, you know. You know, people can fucking work things out. It's how we've done it for fucking a million years, you know. We didn't get here by being stupid. We got here by being smart. The smart ones invented things and survived and made life a bit easier and a bit more bearable, you know. And gradually the ones that didn't do their things died out, you know. So now we've got, well, you would think more smart people, but I don't know. I think people would realise that common sense isn't common. Yeah. Common sense is only common within the, you could call it a collective or the zone, an area where that knowledge is common. For instance, if you go from one country to another and you've never been out of your own country and you go into a public toilet, especially say you move from America to France, that's going to be a surprise for you going into a French toilet. It's going to be completely different. But see, then you go to Japan, that's going to be another huge surprise, especially if you don't know how to use a mobile phone properly. So your 8-year-old grandmother shouldn't be taken on a journey to Japan. Yeah. She won't understand even what button to flush. And then she'll be shocked when she gets sprayed in the bum with water and all kinds of wipes and rubs and scrubbers come out and rub her bum for her. Oh, you might never get her out of that toilet. Anyway, this guy.
Poll, and they found out Trump was up by about 50 points. Everyone said, "What's going on right here?" They thought Bush, because Bush supposedly was a military person. Great. You know what? He was a military. He got us into the Middle East. How did that work out, right? But they all thought that Bush might win. Jeb, remember Jeb? We have a man.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Do you remember Jeb? Jeb Bush didn't get anybody into the fucking Middle East. That was his brother, right? George W. Bush. I think his dad, who was the first one to get America into the Middle East war with Iraq, was George H.W. Bush. Is that right? Is that how you distinguish the two Bushes? Jeb was never president, so we don't know what the fuck he is going on about. He's such a fucking idiot. He can't even remember the names of just very recent presidents in America. Never mind the names of foreign leaders and dignitaries that he's got to meet and shake hands and get on with. And he doesn't give a fuck if he gets a name wrong. He thinks that America's so big we can just walk willy-nilly through everybody's fucking, you know, ancient traditions and the way that they do these rituals in order to prove, you know, to their populace and all that it's a friendly visit. And then Donald Trump comes in and smashes through all that, and then these people get upset. And he doesn't care because he's moved on. He's away to smash someone else. And the rest of America is left to clean it up behind him. All the diplomats are on the boat trying to fucking appease people and shit. And him saying, fuck that, don't fucking appease them. Let's move on and destroy somewhere else. Fuck them. You know, America's fucking great. Those cunts should all come crawling to us, blah, blah, blah. You know, they should be paying me money for fucking coming here and all that. So that's what he was fucking thinking. I've got to travel in the world with these kind of foreign food and shit fucking water and don't get Pepsi at the right temperature. You know what I mean? He was a fucking idiot.
Who is totally corrupt and the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired, in no condition to lead.
Yeah. Those last words, prescient words. The worst president of the country, mentally impaired, you know what I mean? I mean, he's talking about himself there. Projection. He is talking about himself. I guarantee he's had Parkinson's or... what I think he's got is varicose Parkinson's. It's a hardening of the arteries in the brain. And it stops you from being able to make new memories. He's 77. Yeah, he would just be about hitting that varicose sort of starting limit where some of the brain starts to lose oxygen blood supply because of the hardening and thinning of the arteries in the brain. And that you find it hard to remember or make new memories of things you've done recently. And the problem is you start to mix memories as well. So things you totally remember you doing, you suddenly think you did at a different place or time with different people. And you're absolutely certain because you're sure it's a memory you've got, so you're certain of it. He could be like that. Oh my God. I don't know if they've ever... I'm sure they must have. He must have been through one of the big machines where they go through the electric field and fucking scan your brain. Electromagnetic scanner kind of thing, right? So he must have been through one of these. They must have done his brain, mate, when he became president. I bet you'll see a change, a difference in his shit. But his brain has got areas that are damaged because of lack of blood supply. Tiny little areas, I'm not talking about a big hole in your brain, I'm talking about tiny little areas, but it shows up in a scan, the damage. They do the neuron level and stuff, and yeah, I think that's what he's got, man. It sure seems like it.
And is now in charge of dealing with Russia and possible nuclear war. Just think of it.
Everybody knows that the Russians always say they're going to use nukes. Every conflict I've ever been in, they say, oh, if you're going to do this, we might use nukes. It's the propaganda. It's not the political wing. It's not Putin in the army. It's people on TV, bloggers and shit. So Oh my God, Russia is not going to launch any fucking missiles, man. Kidding me? The road has got past a Russia-America nuclear war that destroys the world. We've got past that. The problem we have now is rogue states getting hold of one or two and, you know, attacking the people they hate. You know, like Iran against Israel. And then, well, everybody suspects that Iran's got the range, so they retaliate, and then it causes, you know, a larger nuclear conflict. And all this shit is going to go into the atmosphere and spread all around the world, and we're all going to get a wee bit more fucking poisoned. Maybe this is evolution, right? Because in evolution, you also have to change for your environment, and the ones that don't change the environment die. That's evolution as well. It's not just about sex, right? It's not just about being born with a yellower hair colour or redder hair colour or bluer eyes. It's not anything about that. No, it's not all just about sex, right? Some animals are more resistant to contaminants and stuff like that in the atmosphere. And so, yeah, I suppose if we had a world war and put more nuclear poison in the atmosphere, it would have a gradual effect on the population over time. And yeah, it does cause mutations. Could some of them be good mutations? Well, I don't know. There's probably like a 1 in a billion fucking chance, I suppose, in every birth, you know. But yeah, you know, I suppose there is a chance that we could mutate and change. But I don't expect we're all going to become fucking Spider-Man, you know what I mean? Or Superman, or I don't know, the Gunk, or no, I don't know. No. The guy who could become black stuff, and I don't know. I can't remember. Shoot, many tights.
We would be in World War II very quickly.
Oh my God.
And look, I understand if you confuse the word with
Oh, please tell me the story about the snake. I can't. Oh, I mean, who?
Call her Crooked Hillary. And then they took a poll and they found out Trump was up by about 50 points. Everyone said, what's going on right here? They thought Bush, because Bush supposedly was a military.
These are the man. I want to listen to that. See the man with the music when he's going, you know, he's trying to emote some kind of emotion. I'm sure I'll get the emotion. It's just the way he's emoting it. It doesn't. Oh, it's like old Mother Hubbard. I can't, you know.
Military person, great. You know what? He was a military. He got us into the Middle East. How did that work out, right? But they all thought that Bush might win. Jeb, remember Jeb? We have a man who is totally
This one.
corrupt and the worst president in the history of our country.
What's it that music in the background? Listen to me and listen to me. Oh, how sad and melancholy, you know. Oh, sad and melancholy. You know what I mean? Oh, Mother Hubbard. It's like, oh my God.
Who is cognitively impaired, in no condition to lead, and is now in charge of dealing with Russia and possible nuclear war. Just think of it. We would be in World War II very quickly.
We'll be in World War II very quickly. Unless you elect me again as president. Oh, come on. Only I can save you. Oh, there can be only one. And with the power of Grayskull.
And look, I understand if you confuse the word here and there, but in just the last few weeks, Donald Trump has suggested that Obama is the current president, that he
God.
beat Obama in 2016, that Jeb Bush got us involved in the war in the Middle East, and that World War II hasn't happened yet. And that's to say nothing of today.
I missed that. World War II. Biden's going to cause World War II. So he's not only got problem with letters, he's got problems with numbers as well. Oh,
Dave's brilliant commentary that Viktor Orban is the president of Turkey, that FDR was chairbound because of a, quote, situation, and the most impressive revelation that the word us is the same as the initials for the...
I've been through college, and I'm sure a lot of you have as well, right? You know, when you get that bit in college, and it's probably not in every person's college course, right? But if you're doing anything involving media, you normally have to do like a media presentation, right? Now, this can be speaking to an audience, just you can have slides, you can do a presentation using, audio, video, cues. You can do the whole thing as just a screen presentation, animated and programmed to run at the quicker button and stuff like that, and do introductions. But you're meant to do it. It's meant to encourage you to understand the medium of speech. Human speech communication in a presentation format. It's in order for you to understand how to integrate human beings with technology in a arena or whatever setting, or even an office setting. So it tries to encourage you to go out there and understand how to put things together, speeches, presentations, that sort of thing is what, script writing. It's basically, but it's with an aim, a start, begin and end, aim, and not just maybe an aim, but also a project that has in mind that you're aiming towards to inform people of certain parts, or in order for them to understand what it is that you're going to be doing for your next year, And yeah, basically it's a presentation of what your view of your next year's studies is and what you're aim to achieve through it, things like that, and so yeah, so that's the aim. So you're invested in it, but I mean, it's basically to teach you how to set up a scene where you're speaking to people, where you take them from your introduction, greetings and stuff, into light-hearted conversation, involving, some of the aspects of it, and maybe other agencies involved that you would have to be involved with, all that sort of stuff, other people you're going to be requesting to work with, to get bits done. There's all that stuff, prospective, applications to work with people and stuff like that, or use certain equipment. So you actually go through a lot of stuff when you're in college learning shit, you know what I mean? And you would think that politicians would at least have that level of understanding of the world, of how you don't just come up with, I've got this idea. Oh, well, let's put it to a vote. I've got this idea, let's put it to a vote with Jim Jordan. I think I can win. I think I can fly. It's like, God, these are... Jim Jordan's been in politics for 30 years or some fucking thing. 30 years. Is it that 20 at least? 26, 26 years, 25, 23 years? I can't remember, but it's over 20 years. Jim Jordan's been in politics over fucking 20 years, and he pulled this shit and got fucking gubbed. He got fucking gubbed to fuck, you know what I mean? Oh my God, he got such a slap down, man, and he wasn't happy with it. Oh, he was not fucking happy. I thought he could bully a few people and fucking change the script. And it worked, partly worked for him, like people gave him a few fucking extra votes and says they're going to vote for him one time and all that. And then they stabbed him in the back. And then they voted twice more after that to say, we don't fucking want you, get the fuck. And, this is a good fish. this is a good fish. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, Tim Jordan got gubbed because he's an asshole, and he doesn't know how to fucking work within the political fucking system. I can see why him and his mates want to tear the system down. They want to tear it down so it's just basically people who can encourage billionaires to pay them enough money to buy the fucking the position of power, you know. They're trying to go back to the time before fucking you kicked the king in England out of your country and became America. They're trying to go back to before that, before the Constitution, before 1775. You know what I mean? When you disgruntled and started to complain. I mean, oh my God, he wants to go back. These know-nothings, man.
The United States. At some point, it becomes apparent that maybe the guy isn't working with a full deck of cards here. And by the way, that point is so obvious that even Fox's Jessica Tarlov pointed it out on Fox's Air.
And I put together some of Trump's latest cognitive duties from the last 10 days. He said you need an ID to buy bread. Has anyone shown ID to get Wonder Bread lately? He said that he ran against Obama in 2016. He ran against Hillary Clinton. He warned that Biden will get us into World War II, which I'm pretty sure we already fought and won. And yesterday, he confused Jeb Bush and George W. Bush and said that Jeb got us involved in the Middle East. And then, of course, there are his authoritarian posts on Truth Social calling for the chair of the Joint Chiefs of Staff to be executed and saying that he's going to investigate media companies that he doesn't like. You know, and can you imagine if Biden said, you know what, I'm going to look into that Fox News. They don't seem to like me over there.
And look, none of this is to say that suddenly Donald Trump might not be performing at the peak of his game here. I don't think that's news to anyone. But what it should tell us is that when Republicans wail on an endless loop about Biden being in cognitive decline, they are projecting. They are trying to distract you from the fact that their deity does not know who he beat in the last election, doesn't know what the last World War was, and thinks you need ID to buy bread. Again, not a great track record if your goal here is to claim that the other guy is mentally impaired. So the next time any of the right's willful accomplices in the mainstream media takes the bait and makes Biden's mental state the center of attention, ask them why they're silent on the issue of Trump's mental state. Ask them why Trump gets a pass. Ask them why Trump gets graded on a curve. Ask them what it says that Trump would fail a third-grade history exam. Republicans have certainly learned how to game the refs, but the reason is obvious. They have to do everything in their power to carry water for a guy who still brags about passing a cognitive test whose questions include identifying different animals. I mean, dear God. And finally, one last point on...
Here's the thing about that so-called cognitive test that Trump says that he fucking passed, right? This is a very typical test that you do when you go to the doctor for emotional problems or problems that seemed to be physical but turned out not to be there. So a mental, stress and things like that, depression. The first thing when you go to we call them mental hospitals, it's shorthand in Britain, but they're not mental hospitals, right? They're not for the mentally insane. It's just mental as in they deal with the brain, right? So that, brain hospitals, psychological hospitals, psychotherapy hospitals, where they take people and try and help them to deal with stress, depression, other mental, psychological problems, schizophrenia, manic depression, stuff like that, things that can be treated today reasonably if they can keep people in their meds and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a very barbaric kind of form of medicine at the moment, because really you don't know anything about doing, and it's hard to make any rhyme or reason out of what people in politics think of the money being spent on mental health. But yeah, anyway, in Britain, if you go to one of these mental health hospitals, which deals with mostly mental health, one of the first things they're going to do is just to try and get a baseline of you when they meet you and you seem normal, right? Is this you normal? Yes. If you're acting up and you're, say you're bipolar or something and you're having an episode because you haven't been taking your pills or the dosage needs to be changed or whatever. I mean, these are the things that they have to try and get a baseline. And if you're already being treated, they've probably got a lot of that information. But if you and your files, right? If you're your first time going to like one of these, the first thing they're going to want to do is get a baseline. So they're going to have a small conversation maybe when they meet you, ask you your name, your address, your date of birth, blah blah blah, what school you went to. They're just waiting for you to verify all stuff that you've maybe written months ago to see if you remember it is basically it. Right? And what people think, well, why do you have to ask me all this stuff? It's not to prove that you're who you are. It's to prove that you remember what you told them months ago, maybe years ago. But you know, they just want to know how much you can remember of what you've told them. You know, and it's a baseline they can get. And then they'll ask these stupid questions about, can you tell me what shape's the elephant, what shape? You know what I mean? Can you remember these 3 words? And no, that wouldn't be man camera. It's normally something you can see there. They'll say tie, pen, glasses, you know, and then they'll talk to you for 15 minutes, and then they'll go away and come back 5 minutes. So they normally wait about 20 minutes, and then they come back and say, can you remember the 3 words that I've mentioned earlier? And what they're trying to gauge here is your brain's ability to remember and make short-term memories. A list of things, 2, 3 things, it's very short fucking list, but 3 different things. They might be connected. I mean, this one person owns them all. It was his glasses, pen and tie. You might, if you've got cognitive ability, connect that with a person with glasses, tie and a pen in their hand, you know. And then meet your name and he asks you, you get them and you go, oh yeah, glasses, tie, pen, you know. It doesn't matter what order, I suppose. They might ask you for the order of other things later when they do a mere competent test to test you, you know, because they're getting a baseline. What Donald Trump was talking about is the baseline questions, and I don't think he got it right, because unless American is real different, we normally don't get that memory question. What did he say? Woman, man, person, camera, TV or something. 5? No, it's normally 3. They don't want to test you. It's not like an excruciating test. They just want to see if you remembered 3 different things in the last 20 minutes later. It's not a big thing. There's no right or wrong answer to it. All they're trying to find out is how well you can remember. And you know, some people remember all 3, some people remember none, some people remember 1 or 2, and then halfway through a conversation, oh, I remember the other word. You know what I mean? You know, it's like everybody's different. We're all on scales of fucking memory and consciousness and you know, and morality, right? Apparently, you need to be on the short end of the scale of morality to be a Republican, but I think to be Donald Trump, you need to have no fucking morality, is the way I look at it from him. He's I'm just glad I'm not American, because I don't have to feel responsible for the shit that he put the whole world through over the last 7 years. I'm not. I say 7 because it wasn't just the shit he did during the 4 years of his presidency. It's the shit he stirred up after he lost and didn't give up, and all the fucking fucktarded shit that's went on in America with all his fucking sycophants attacking their own country, damaging America and damaging the wider world while they're doing it. Absolutely insane. But fuck me, they are insane, aren't they, these fucking people?
on this. When it comes to Biden's cognitive abilities, we don't have to sit here and wonder whether he would be capable of doing the job, because he is quite literally already doing it, and doing it more effectively than any other president in our lifetimes. And don't just take my word for it, because the successes speak for themselves. The American Rescue Plan, the Infrastructure Law, the Inflation Reduction Act, the Gun Safety Law, the CHIPS Act, the PACT Act, reauthorizing the Violence Against Women Act, codifying marriage equality, bolstering NATO, adding 14 million jobs, bringing inflation below 2%, and the unemployment rate down to a 50-year low. Those wins not only speak for themselves, but they are a testament to competent leadership. Republicans, meanwhile, continuing.
I like what Biden done, but I'm sorry. I don't put it down to competent governing, competent president. No. When Biden came in, all of this stuff was such low-lying fruit, right? This is stuff America should have been doing over the last 20, 30 years. It should have been gradually been doing all the stuff that Biden's getting, into now. You should have been doing over the last 20, 30 years. Your medical system, for fuck's sake, come on. Your medical insurance is a fucking scam. If it was on fucking the internet, countries would ban it. But America seems fucking happy to just continue on with that fucking shit. And this crap where every fucking state's got a different fucking tax rate for fucking everything. Really? Really? You all use the fucking dollar. You don't need to add fucking tax in a state. When you get the goods, it's more expensive because it's been in a truck for fucking 300 miles. Yeah, so you just put the price up. You want to tax people? Tax them for fucking something that they should be taxed for. You should have a road tax, Come on. Income tax, yes. State tax? Well, what's the state do for me? Do you pick my bins up? Do you power the lights in my street? Do I have lights in my street? Do you surface my roads? I don't think I should be paying tax if there's no fucking council fucking lighting the roads or pickups or anything like that going on. Fuck that shit. But if I was in a town or a city where all the roads are paved and tarmac and it's all been paid, well, yeah, I'd pay tax in the city. Suppose you've got to pay a little bit of tax even in rural areas. I mean, they did build a pebble dash path or something to your village or whatever, didn't they? But yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, you pay a wee bit. You pay what you owe. I mean, but you don't need a fucking airport. If you're living in the middle of fucking Iowa and you've never left Iowa and you've never been on a plane, just worked your whole life on a farm or whatever, what the fuck do you pay tax on a fucking for the government to pay, build an airport? No. The billionaires who use the airport every fucking day, they should pay fucking extra fucking tax in order to fucking build these. They're the cunts using it, right? Who's fucking needing the port? Yes, we eat the food, but who's making the money out of it? All these big companies with all the fucking overseas ships making stuff go from one country to another. Yeah, well, why don't they all chip together and build a fucking seaport, Why is the government taxing you to build a seaport for fucking ocean liners to, bring in fucking bananas and over fucking charge you for them? I'm sorry, fuck that. Billionaires should just pay more tax and the government will build them all the fucking ports they need and all the airports, In Iowa, you don't need them. Why are you paying tax for fucking an airport thousands of miles away you will never see in your life? Bullshit,
To take their cues from Trump, can't even choose a speaker. The contrast here couldn't be more obvious. Before you go, I need some help.
No, they did choose a speaker. They just couldn't choose one they could all agree on. That's basically it. Anyway, it's on you, bad motherfuckers, and I'll see you anon.